Spice that pumpkin for me. Spice it. Here's a scene right out of The Sopranos. Move your truck. Uh-oh. Alright. I'll tell you something. These ladies are clowning on my skull shirt, asking me why I'm wearing my Halloween shirt on November 9th. Look, skulls are good 365 days a year when you're a guy. Hey, welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I'm your host, comic book artist for DC Comics. I've been working about 20 years there, perhaps longer. I don't know, it all runs together. Just a humble ink and superhero merchant, however. And hey, can I kick a little something for the G's? Maybe make a few friends as I breeze through? Let's talk about Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, Rebirth, #1. Okay, so this was a book that I drew. Pencils and inks with Robert Venditti, longtime Green Lantern writer, the guy who took over the book after Jeff Johns. He's still writing it to this day. Colored by Jason Wright. Now this book's very recent. It's only from last year, 2016. If you're watching this in another decade, and I hope you are. So here's the thing about this title here. So basically I was working my way back into DC Comics' good graces. I decided I was going to be less of a prima donna and more of a workhorse, somebody who was dependable and who could meet deadlines. For many reasons, I think I had fallen off in the past couple of years. I blew a couple of really, really important deadlines, and was basically not feeling so great about myself, and also feeling a little bit icy at DC Comics, to be honest with you. So, of course, they'll always give me work, though, and I just kind of said, I'm going to earn my spot back. And I did. I climbed the ladder for about a year and a half, doing odd jobs at DC, like Lobo and like Sinestro, and even a few pages in a Poison Ivy book. And eventually, they gave me a miniseries called Green Lantern Edge of Oblivion. I was halfway through that when Dan DiDio came to see me and said, what do you want to do? And I said, well, my goal is to draw Green Lantern full-time. I'd like to draw Hal Jordan again. And I'd like DC Comics to renew my exclusive contract and give me my own series called Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. It would basically be like David Finch's Batman The Dark Knight book. I would just like to be able to do basically whatever I wanted to do with it. And it could be in continuity or not. It would just be my special little book. And Dan said, I don't know. And I assumed that was no. Yeah. And then suddenly, I was contacted by Jeff Johns about doing something called Rebirth, DC Universe Rebirth, and told that all these books were going to be relaunched. And Dan asked me what I wanted to do. I said I want to draw Green Lantern. And he said, you don't want to do Teen Titans? I don't know why he said that. I still wonder to this day. And I said, no, I don't want to do Teen Titans. I want to do Hal Jordan. And he said, well, we've got a book called Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. We're going to cancel the Green Lantern book and we're going to relaunch Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern. I said, you're using that title, huh? And he said, what? And I said, okay, I want that book. So he said, okay, great. So here I am on Hal Jordan. And that's a long way of explaining how things kind of go. They did renew my exclusive contract under the understanding that I was going to be productive, and I think I have been productive. I've done 11 issues of this series so far, and 14 covers and since its inception, so in about a year, and that's amazing for me. All right, so they said, hey, we're going to do these covers. Everyone has to do a headshot with a hand or something like that. And I said, that's cool because that's very familiar to me with this kind of title. And I did this. This ring is different than the original art. The original art had his normal ring, they told me one of the big features of this series was going to be that Hal Jordan was going to make his own ring. And so I said, that's great. I already sold the original art to this, and somebody has it. So I don't know how I'm going to redraw a patch for this ring. So instead what I did was I just took a printout of this and then light boxed the ring, but it was too, like, the printout was small. It was like 8.5 by 11. So if you look, you'll see that the ring itself on here, it's poorer quality. It's a lesser quality than the rest of the drawing because it wasn't shrunk down as much as this was. And you can find the original version of this pretty easily on Google. I think it looks pretty good. In any case, I'm happy with this cover and happy to be working with both of these gentlemen. And here we go. Wonderful. Right away, I mean, when you're given outer space scenes like this, you need to trust your colorist. These are the fragments of Planet Oa. They're just in a circle, of course. Everything is about rings, remember? That's the thing about Green Lantern. I mean, it's interesting here, right? This looks like a Green Lantern ring if you blur your eyes. This is the band, and this is the center that glows. This is the sun. So there's a subliminal Green Lantern ring worked into this panel here. Jason Wright, what a great job on these colors. Wonderful, rusty kind of outer space. When you're working with a really, really good colorist, it is the best thing in the world. And yeah, we get closer. By the way, Rob Venditti, thank you for this page. This page took 2 hours to draw, and I was paid what I would have been paid for a page that took me 3 days to draw. So that's really nice. I like that. Thank you. We flip the page, and here is a big shot of Warworld, I believe, which is where Sinestro is living right now as an older man. The Sinestro core symbol is lit up, and it's embedded inside this planet. Little explosions are happening all around. Sinestro actually wants to obliterate the fragments of the planet Oa. He wants nothing to remain. That's how he is. These are the first 3 pages that I drew. Right here. Okay. And I was talking to Liam Sharp, who's a good friend of mine. He was working on Wonder Woman, and we were showing each other our pages for Rebirth, so I sent him these, and he was very complimentary, and that made me happy because I think he's phenomenal. Yeah, right here, Alyssa Drack, very sexy. Thank you, DC, for letting me do her top open. That's a rare thing. I mean, a character actually has to be sexy as part of her characteristic, like as one of her traits, in order for them to really let something as provocative as this kind of go by these days. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess I feel okay about it. I was told to zip up. I've been told to kind of zip women's shirts up a few times and cover up here and there, just for the sake of not being sexist. I don't really see it that way. I think women in comics should be sexy and appealing and enticing. For the most part, unless they're meant not to be. Superheroines and supervillainesses almost always should be, if possible. That's just my opinion. Here's Sinestro, old man Sinestro. Look at that he looks like Vincent Price right before he died. That broken kind of graying mustache. The eyebrows are gray. The hair's receding back even further. And he's just got cataracts. He's just, old man Sinestro. And again, Jason Wright comes through. He gives him liver spots all over his face. I mean, that's, hey, that's just good thinking. Yeah, and Sinestro overlooks the fireworks show that is Warworld destroying the fragments of Oa that are still lingering behind. This series was meant, this one shot was meant to sort of bridge the gap between the end of the last Green Lantern series and then launching this new one. So now we're, Venditti's got something on his hands here. He's got to kind of rearrange everything within 20 pages so that it puts us where we need to be. And this is where Sinestro is right now, old and crotchety. And, I love this. I put him in a big baggy robe so you couldn't see how skeletal he's become until later. And he's, Liz is trying to comfort him as a man, and he's just like, get your hands off of me. He's like, I got other things on my mind. And he goes down. He leaves the bridge there to descend into his tower. In the meantime, here's another great page. Thank you, Rob Venditti. When you write pages like this, I just want you to know that I appreciate it. I only had to draw a circle here and detail the planet. The rest was colored in by the wonderful Jason Wright, who added little bits of green here. Very thoughtful. I had to draw this cave. I had to draw this cave closer and this cave closer again. These are actually redrawn, I believe. Yeah, I think they are. Hand-drawn. As the cave goes from black to bright, shiny green at the opening, we're just zooming in. And I thought a page this easy, I could easily stat it, but that's actually stealing money at that point. Just draw it, Ethan. Goodness sake. And I did draw it. Okay. So, yeah, here's Hal Jordan. Rob really liked this. I was glad that he did. Here's Hal Jordan. He's a permanent construct of will. He's lost his humanity. And I was careful to draw, look, this is how constructs are constructed, and his body is made up of different types of willpower, suggestion. You can see right through him. You can see this, for example, this bit of the cave, this shard of rock. You can see it through his shoulder. And yeah, he's just trying to regain his humanity. So here's a quick update. Young Hal watches his father die. He is given the ring by Abin Sur. He joins the Green Lantern Corps. This is wonderful to draw. Oh, and I love the way it's white in the background. Like Jason left that all white. So fun to look at. Look at this. And this is modern Green Lantern Corps because you've got 2-6 here and Goran's son. And these are all new lanterns. And then poor Muck Muck, who unfortunately passed away in Edge of Oblivion at my hands, in the hands of Tom Taylor. But these are my guys. I love them so much. Oh, I need to do more. People are like, when are you going to do something else? I don't know. Never, if I don't have to. I would like to draw Green Lantern until I'm 80 years old. I know that's not possible, but I really would like that. More recap. Hal Jordan has lost his ring, and he grabs this gauntlet from Krona, and he becomes, I don't know, a little wacky, grows his hair long, becomes a hippie. In the meantime, we catch up with where the other boys are. Simon Baz, John Stewart, Kilowog, nice Guy Gardner here, and then the White Lantern, Kyle Rayner. Boy, do I dislike this. And New Guardians that I created with Jeff Johns and Green Lantern Annual number 20? Am I thinking? No, it's just Green Lantern Annual number 1, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I created these monkeys here, and they are little monkeys. Look at them. I actually, when Jeff was describing them, he said they would actually crawl on walls and things. I was like, all right, dude. Yeah, here we have Hal still trying to get himself together. I love this. He is using pure willpower to create this rock made of solid will. Places it on this anvil construct that he's made. And a gigantic hammer. And he begins to smack the willpower rock with the hammer. And when he hits it, he flashes back to reality again. Pull back, he's a construct. Hit it, reality. Pull back again. This was fun to draw. I really like this here. It's like, all right, so you draw them in, and then you kind of just fill in this. This is all black. And then you take, here's a trick. You take a thumbtack, okay? And you go and grind it into the ink. I mean, you press down and pull and scrape the ink away. And you get these beautiful streaky lines here that look like ugly kind of drizzly snow. And then you can add, your jelly roll, sure, and then put little dots in there with white out. And it makes a nice weathery kind of frigid scene. You can see it here too. I mean, this is all thumbtacks. I don't remember who taught me that trick, but I like it. And here is Hal. Again, big splash page of him just whacking that rock that he made. And when he does, the panels split and we see our Green Lanterns coming back from the event that I abandoned to draw DC Universe Rebirth with Jeff Johns. This is Edge of Oblivion. We see where Ganthet and Sade are, and they are busy being White Lanterns. I don't know what they're in these white robes. I don't know. Kyle Rayner is ministering unto sea monkeys, and that's nice of him. And here we have my beautiful angel, Jessica Cruz, who I created with Jeff Johns to be a villain, and now she's a heroine. I took a shot at redesigning her and failed miserably. I didn't know they wanted something kind of basic like this. This is a really nice design, but it's very true to Green Lantern. And who designed her? Jason Fabok came up with the final design, and thank God he did. And then, oh no. Oh, my head. And then, okay. Oh, look, she's beautiful, isn't she? Jessica Cruz, protector of Earth. Yeah. Oh, speak of the devil, here's Liam Sharp's wonderful Wonder Woman. Great stuff. I mean, this was all optimism. Everyone was sure the Green Lantern Rebirth, DC Rebirth, was going to succeed. And it did. It succeeded wildly. Here's a beautiful ad by Ivan Reyes for his Snickers bars. I saw this and was like, ooh, nice. 4 big pages, juicy pages. And then, did he draw this? He must have. Maybe Joe Prado did. I don't know. And then, okay, so back to my story here. Back to Warworld. This is interesting. This is the spiral staircase here. I was told to draw this kind of creaky spiral staircase going down, down, down into the depths of the earth. I actually had to learn to do perspective on a spiral staircase, which is not easy to do. It's a very tricky thing. I did learn how to do it multiple times with false horizon lines and vanishing points just to keep it going. And Brad Walker, who was drawing Aquaman, said, "Whoa." I said, "Yeah." He said, "Whoa, nice job." I said, "Thanks." You pick up a little skill. I mean, it's a good thing to learn how to do something like this in perspective. It's tricky, but sharpen your skills. And Sinestro going down, down, down in front of this big, gigantic door. And what's inside but my baby, the parallax creature, the parallax entity. So tired. Look, it's being gassed, and who knows what it's sedated. And Sinestro whips off his robe. This is very Frank Whiteley of me, indeed. I'll tell you, my time on New X-Men with him was well spent. I learned a lot of tricks, and was influenced by him quite a bit. This little skeletal figure, tiny Sinestro, showing the size and scope of the parallax entity. And then we're really close on his eyes. Once again, Jason Wright like a champion. Here's a quickie page. He's hammering still. And we've got the Indigo Tribe. We've got Larfleeze. That's a very quick Larfleeze that I drew. He's just indicated there. He's not really drawn. Carol Ferris is Star Sapphire. I had to redraw that with whiteout because I got her costume wrong. She had changed. This shot of Hal Jordan here. This is interesting. I'll tell you where I got this pose from. I was watching The Brain That Wouldn't Die, which is one of my favorite horror B movies, and I watch it often. I really like it. I mean, it's a piece of garbage, but there's something about it that reminds me of the creature feature films that I watched as a child. That was definitely one of them, and it kind of got me into horror. So this pose happened to be, I needed, weary Hal Jordan now. And there's one sequence where the guy gets out of the car accident that he was in, the flaming wreckage, and he grabs the severed head of his wife-to-be, I believe, and he wraps it in a towel, and he runs up a field away from the burning wreckage. He's going to keep her head alive, and he stops and falls down for a minute, tired. And when he did that, I was just right in the same spot. I was right, supposed to be drawing this right when that was on my iPad, and I went, that's the pose I need. So I swiped it. As much as you can swipe something off of an iPad, I just kind of followed this pose. This would have been a severed head right in here. And it looks glorious. Instead, I put the hammer in his hand. You wouldn't have known that unless I told you, but that's why this is called Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Go back and find the scene in question and see how this measures up to that. Here's Hal Jordan's new ring. This was very important. Rob Venditti wanted me to design a new ring for Hal Jordan. And it could have been anything. I think maybe something more like the movie, which I disagreed with. I thought, if anything, Hal Jordan would be more like Howard Hughes, and it would be like, how can I streamline the ring that I already have? And so he did. He flattens it out more. If you watch the Aviator and you just watch how the Howard Hughes characters like burn down those rivets, like smooth it out. This plane needs to have no drag on it. That was influential in creating this ring. Here he is. We're going to use darkness in a silhouette here because we want to deliberate the fact that it's about to light up. He removes the trappings of his old identity, the gauntlet and I guess the power pack, whatever that is. He puts on the ring and lights it up. And so this is this, except now we see his smile. What a great smirk. I love Hal Jordan. Reciting the oath. Guys, this is why I do what I do. Don't you understand? I love my job. Here's the ring. You can see that it actually kind of goes around here a little bit more. It sort of wraps around his finger. And this is actually, you could see flesh through this. This is hollow. This is open now. Okay? And then splash shot. There he is. The return of Hal Jordan as Green Lantern. We haven't seen him for maybe a year. I don't know, maybe a couple years while he's been doing this other thing. He had long hair and a trench coat. Here he is back again. And I'll tell you, I wasn't terribly happy with this when I drew it. Everyone loved it. So I'm always wrong. I'm always wrong. This is just, I decided to actually use the length of the page going this way. It's unusual. Normally it makes more sense to go from here to here. That's the way the eye kind of flows. And I went, no, I'm going to go from here to here. And fortunately it landed on a left-hand page. So you've got this V shape automatically here implied in the two pages together. So it worked out really well. I like it now. It's like when I get some distance between me and the work I've done, I feel differently about it. And then I didn't like it. Now I'm like, wow, that kind of kicks ass. Good job. Here's another kind of lazy page. I drew the cave once. I drew a little Hal Jordan figure, and I drew Hal Jordan figure taking off. Stack this cave, and let's show scale here. Flying off of this icy planet that he was hiding out on. Flying away. All you need to, this is Green Lantern. All you need to do is draw a green streak. It's him. And then we can see the big shot here. He's creating a power battery, and he's on his way. It says in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? We're bi-weekly now. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. And this was the thing. The book was going to be bi-weekly, and that meant that issue number 1, which I wanted to do so badly. I said, I want the Rebirth book. I want issue number 1. They did tell me yes. And then they said, nah, we want to get all this stuff done, and we want to get you moving on the next thing. And not only that, they were saying Jeff was going to write part of Green Lantern's Rebirth, the one shot, and Jeff wanted me to draw his part. And of course, the answer when Jeff wants something is yes, it's going to be good. You want to do it. Doesn't matter. Even though my preference was Hal Jordan, Jeff was telling me at the time, look, Green Lanterns is going to be the more progressive and more modern Green Lantern book, and really you should be doing that instead. I stuck to my guns. I feel a close attachment to these characters. I could easily go and do Green Lanterns, and it would be fun, but I would miss my brother here. That's Hal Jordan. So anyway, so because I was doing this and 10 pages of Green Lanterns Rebirth, they said you can't do issue number 1. We're going to have this new guy, Rafa Sandoval, who is working with Rob Venditti. He's going to draw the first 3 issues. You're going to draw Green Lanterns Rebirth, and then we're going to get you started right on Green Lantern or Hal Jordan number 4. And that way, we've got 45 days worth of work in the bag. We're bi-weekly now. And I said, whoa, I think I understand what you mean. So that's basically what happened. This book sold a lot of copies. A lot of copies. It did really, really well. I think it got people excited about Green Lantern again. And I will say, this is the beginning of a renaissance for this man, Rob Venditti, who has continued to just raise the bar. This series has been excellent, and I would be his toughest critic because I worked with Jeff Johns. This series under Rob Venditti has been excellent. I wish I could put the noise of an anvil strike under the word excellent. He's doing a marvelous job, and I'm proud to be working with him. So that's Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps Rebirth, number 1. It's a one-shot. After this comes Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 1. And that was also a runaway success. Anyway, thanks for listening to this commentary. Go out and buy a copy of this book and get started. This is where I'm working right now on this title. I'm currently drawing issue number 38. So if you are anticipating ordering from your retailer, order that issue and keep in touch. Subscribe to this channel, click the bell for notifications, and yeah, thanks a lot for being there. I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.